Alright, so today we will be working on tanning this gopher hide. I skinned it, stuck it in the freezer for a while, and I thought that I should pull it out and make a video on how to do it. So, first thing we will be doing is we will be taking off all this flesh right here, and let's get to work. So I'm done flushing it. As you can see, got that stuff off, not too much. And it looks real nice. I just used a knife and just scraped it really hard while holding on to the other side. It's real nice now. Now I'm just gonna turn it right side out, other side facing out, and I'm gonna wash it up because there's some blood on it and stuff. So I'll get this clean, and then we'll put some salt on it. Alright, so now I got it all nice and clean. As you can see, it's still wet. So now I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to dry it the best I can, and then make something to go underneath of it to hold it open, and I'm going to turn it right side out, get some salt, sprinkle it down, let it finish drying in the sun, and then we'll put some salt on it and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so I finished washing it. As you can see, it's still wet. So I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to dry it off, and then we'll get going on putting it on a block. So I got it as dry as I could with the towel. Now it's pretty dry. I gotta just turn it inside out, and then I'll go get a block, start stringing it up to put the salt on to draw all those oils out. Alright, so I turned it inside out, got my block of wood. I'm just gonna stretch this over and around this, and I'll show you guys how to do it. The salt I'm using is just pickling salt. Some of the smaller stuff we'll be doing is taking it, rubbing it into the hide or skin. Alright, so now I'm just gonna lean it up against something like that. Wait till it pulls all the oils out. You'll start seeing them running down here on the piece of wood. But I'm gonna wait till it pulls all the oils out. Position the feet where I want them. That way they don't. But anyway, I'm gonna wait till all the oils run out of it. And then, once it's dry, then we'll start tanning with the eggs. Alright, so I'm back. And this is finished drying out now. You can see, nice and just perfect. It's sitting for probably 4 days, I'm guessing. And I did have to cut off the tail because I could not get the bone out, so it was rotting. Anyway, let's just start rubbing this salt off and we'll get to tanning. I'll be tanning it with these eggs, so let's get to work. So we're just gonna, I have this old shirt down to catch all the salt. Let's not go all over the place. We're just gonna be rubbing it and taking all this salt off. Take it off here. As you can see, you can tell it's nice and dried out just because of how stiff it is, but it still is very pliable. But let's just get all this salt off. So I'm going to try to scrape the rest of it off with this knife. You don't want to use a good knife for this because the salt will dull in it pretty bad. This one I have not been able to sharpen, so I'll just use this one. Fingers will actually work better. So I'm just going to get all this salt off, all this hard salt and stuff, get it to where it's nice and smooth, to where there's no salt left on it, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so I got all the salt off, and now there's a lot of this stringy stuff, and some darker spots, some membrane here and there. So what I will be doing next is taking all that off. Use this knife, as I told you before. You don't want a sharp one because it'll dull in it. But anyway, just want to scrape all that off. As you can see there. See that or not, but that's all the membrane coming up. So we'll just be scraping all that off, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Alright, well, finished membraning this. Sorry about the noise, my brothers are mowing the lawn. But anyway, here's all of the membrane that I got off of it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that pile. Anyway, now we will start the tanning. So you'll need a container and 2 eggs. I don't know if we will be using both of the eggs, but I just brought 2 out just to be safe. The container will be or can or whatever you have will be for the egg whites, because we will just be using the yolks. So let's get to tanning. Now for the messy stuff. So we're just gonna dump it on here. Break it. Just start rubbing it in. Where it gets really messy. Let's work it into every single spot. Gonna use a tiny bit of the white just to moisten it a bit more because this is very sticky. Just to really work it into the skin there. Might not need this other egg. Pretty small hide. You will have to wash this again just because of the egg and stuff. It'll get in the hair. As you can see right there, it's gotten in there, but working it until it's all soaked in. Just keep working it until all of the eggs have soaked into the hide. I'm just gonna work this till it all turns white, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. Alright, so now what I did was I just filled a can with about a cup of warm water, hotish, warmish, so that it was warm enough that I could put my hand in it, but not so hot that it burnt me, because otherwise I would have cooked this. But anyway, I have this soaking in it for a little while. Now I'm going to take it inside, rinse it all off, get all this egg out of it, and start stretching. Alright, so as you saw in the video, I did the egg stuff and it was getting too slippery for me to work with, so I put it in a container with some water like I showed you and soaked it in there for a while, pulled it out, rinsed it out, dried it off the best I could. Now I'm just stretching it until it turns white. But we're going to want to do this till it is totally dry, which could take a few hours. But you don't have to be stretching it constantly. You can like stretch it, go do something for maybe 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, come back, stretch it some more, go do something. Or you could just sit here and stretch it the entire time till it's totally white. But I don't know if you can see this. Right there, how it is turning white whenever I stretch it. But we just want to turn the whole thing white, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so this is where a lot of people might say that they just want to stop stretching it because, see, it's white, it's soft, but it's not dry yet. It might look dry, feel dry. The only problem is the inside middle layer is not dry yet. So we want to just keep stretching it until it's all the way dry. And as you can see, the edge stuff is not dry yet either. It's not white. And I found out that if it is big enough to go over your hand, you can put it over your hand, and then you have an opening right here where you can use it sort of like whatever you call it, where you string the hide up. Work it out that way. You can use it like that. Just get it all nice and soft. At this point, you probably want to stick with it all the way to the end. There's some spots that won't turn white like this and that, just because I got too low with my knife when I was flushing it. You want everything to turn white. I have to re-sew some holes here. As you can see, I have a few holes in here. A few holes, it's fine, you can just sew them back or you can just leave them, your choice. But anyway, just keep stretching it so that does not get hard. Stretch it any direction you want. until it's dry. Anyway, just wanted to tell you guys that. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's totally dry. Alright, well I'm done. As you can see, it's nice and white. Very pliable. Nice. Dry. Soft. Anyway, that's good. And there was some spots that took a little longer. One thing for sure, always really focus on the edges, because those will get hard and they won't be bendable. Because I really focused on the edges, so it's nice and it's not hard, nice and soft on the edges. But really focus on those areas, and like there's this spot here. It's a little more crinkly, but still really soft. But anyway, you can tell when it is not totally dry yet if it still feels cold or cool. Anyway, there's the first side. Just gotta comb it out now. But anyway, yeah, there's how to tan a gopher skin. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you on the next one.